Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nak. We're going to go over section 2.6, compound inequalities. So what is the compound inequalities? It's nothing but two inequalities connected by the word or, and. I think the best way to do this is by the examples. So let's take a look at part A. X is greater or equal to negative 4 and x is less than or equal to negative 1. So every time you see the word and, you take the overlapping part of the two intervals that you're gonna get. So let me just draw this out and see what's going on. Okay, so I'm gonna go negative 4 here and then negative 1. And this is negative infinity, and then here's positive infinity. Alright, so let's first go with x is greater or equal to negative 4. That will be from here, and I'm just gonna shade all the way up to infinity. And then let's take a look at x is less than or equal to negative 1. So that will be from here. I hope you can see this color. And then it's going to go towards negative infinity. Since the word and, you're going to have to take the overlapping part of the interval. So where is it overlapping? From negative 4 to negative 1. So therefore, this 3 dots means therefore, our answer is negative 4 comma negative 1. Okay, so now let's look at another one. So I'm going to switch it up a little bit. So how about x is less than or equal to negative 3? And then let's just take a look at or x is greater or equal to negative 1. Okay, so get ready. Alright, negative 3 is down here, negative 1 is here. Okay, so let's first go with x is less than or equal to negative 3. That will be this portion here. Again, this is going to go to negative infinity. This is positive infinity. And let's go with x is greater or equal to negative 1. So that will be this region right here. Now, every time you see the word or, you take all the possible shaded area for the answer. So let me just write that. Take all the shaded area. So in this case, where is it shaded? Well, one of them is from negative infinity to negative 3, close bracket. And then from here, you're going to have negative 1 to positive infinity. Okay, so if it's or, what you need to do is you need to join two intervals by this letter U. This means or we call this a union. So let me write that out. So this means or we call this union. Alright, now let's take a look at this one. 7x minus 8 is less than 6 and 5x plus 7 is greater than negative 3. So step number 1, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to solve each of the inequalities first. So let me take this guy right here on the left hand side of the inequalities. So here I'm going to add 8. Then what do we get? We have 7x is going to be less than 14. Dividing, what did I divide it by? 2 for. Dividing by 7. Then here you're going to have x is less than 2. Okay, so I'm going to drop down the word and an and. Now let's go with the next one. So here, if I want to have to solve for x, you're going to have to subtract 7. Then here you're going to have 5x is greater than negative 10. Divided by 5 on both sides. Then here you're going to get x is greater than negative 2. Now let's draw that number line. And since it's and, you're going to have to take the overlapping part of the two intervals that you're going to get. So negative 2 and then 2. Ready? So x is less than, strictly less than 2. So that will be open. And you're going to go all the way down towards negative infinity. And then x is strictly greater than negative 2. So this will be open. And then you're going to have to shade all this portion here. So where is it overlapping? Negative 2 to 2, but negative 2 and 2 are not included. So here our answer, therefore, our answer is negative 2 to 2 open. Okay, now increasing the level of difficulties here. Let's look at part D. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing. First, what we need to do is we need to solve for x. So first, what I'll do is I'm gonna distribute the -3 to x and then +4. So here what we're gonna get is -3x and then -12 is less than 0. So now what? Add 12. Then you're gonna have -3x is less than +12. Next step, be careful, you're gonna be dividing by negative. So that means what? Your inequality sign must switch. So here you're gonna have x is greater than -4. All right, now let's just jot down and. All right, now let's work on the right hand side. So here we're gonna do the same thing. Distribute. Then we're gonna have -3x plus 1 is less than or equal to 7. Subtract 1 from both sides. Then you're gonna have -3x is less than or equal to 6. Now dividing by a negative, so swap the inequality sign. Then here you're gonna have x is greater or equal to -2. All right, so let's draw this out. Again, we have the word and, so we're gonna have to take the overlapping part of the two intervals. So -4 is smaller, so it's gonna be on the left, and here is -2. So let's first go with x is strictly greater than -4. So this is gonna be open. All right, and then let's go with x is greater or equal to -2. So in that case, you're gonna have a closed bracket here, and you're gonna be shading that portion. So where do they overlap? They're gonna overlap from closed -2. Remember, this is positive infinity, negative infinity, so you're gonna have closed -2 to positive infinity. So that's gonna be the answer. Okay, let's look at another one. Do not panic just because you see some fractions. We got this. All right, so let's take a look at this and let's work on the left side first. So first, there are a couple ways that you can do, but first let me just distribute this 1/2 to each term. Then what do we get? We're gonna have 1/2 x minus 1/2 times 6. That will give us 3. And then plus 2 is less than -5. All right, now I think we could combine these two. So we're gonna have 1/2 x minus 1 is less than -5. Add 1. You're gonna have 1/2 x is less than -4. Okay, so now what are we gonna do? So we want to make that coefficient on x as a +1. So what you need to do is you need to multiply by the reciprocal of 1/2, which will be 2. So if I'm going to multiply this guy by 2, that means I better do the same thing on this side. Okay, so then what do we get? 2 times 1/2 gives you just 1. So here you're going to have x is less than -8. Okay, now let me just jot down the word and. All right, now let's work on the left hand side. So first what I would do is let's bring the 4 on the right hand side by subtracting it. Okay, then what do we get? I'm gonna have -2/3 x is less than 2. Okay, so again, you want to get rid of that -2/3. So what do? We need to multiply by the reciprocal of -2/3. That will be -3/2. So here I'm going to be multiplying by the negative. You see what's going to happen next, right? You multiply by the negative to solve for x. So your inequality sign better switch. Okay, so then here, what do we get? Just x is greater than 2, and a 2 is going to cancel. X is greater than -3. All right, so let me just jot this down. X is greater than -3. All right, let's do this. Here's -8 and -3, negative infinity, positive infinity. Okay, x is strictly less than -8, so it would be open, and then shade. And then next one, is x is greater or equal to negative, no, sorry, x is greater than negative 3. So here, open, and shade, 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 shade. Now remember, the word is and, so that means that you're going to have to take the overlapping part of those two of the intervals. But do they overlap? I don't think so. So in that case, our answer is going to be no solution. So there, let me write it out. So no solutions. Or the notation will be curly bracket with nothing in it, or circle with a slash in between. But anyways, I'm just going to box this for the answer. Okay, so just so that you understand the difference between and or, part F, I took the exact same inequalities from part E. And only thing that I changed is from the word and, I just changed it to or. So let's just pretend that we solved this already. I mean, let's not pretend, we did solve for it already. So we had what, x is strictly less than negative 8. And then this portion was x is strictly greater than negative 3. Now I'm going to connect those two with the word or. So let me just draw this again. So let me see. All right, x is less than negative 8, so we shaded this portion. And then x is strictly greater than negative 3, so we shaded this portion. Okay, so if it's the word is or, then you're going to have to take all the possible shaded regions. So in this case, what we're going to get is negative infinity to negative 8 open, and then negative 3 to positive infinity. How do you connect those two sets? Union sign. All right, so that's going to be the answer. Hopefully you're understanding the difference between and an or. But if you have any questions, you know where to find me. Okay, part G. Well, it's going to look a little bit different than before, but we got this. So step number 1, what you need to do is solve for x. So what would be your first move? Well, add 2. Now if you're going to add 2 to the middle, you better be fair and add 2 to left hand side and then also the right hand side. So then here, what do we get here? Negative 4 less than or equal to 4x, and then less than 0. Okay, now how do you solve for x? We need to divide it by 4. That means we better be fair and divide everybody by 4. Then here you're going to have negative 1 less than or equal to x, and then less than 0. Okay, so now let's just draw ourselves a graph. So here is negative 1, and then here is our 0. So this is telling you that x is greater or equal to negative 1. This is same thing as x is greater or equal to negative 1. And then this portion here is, as you can see, x is strictly less than 0. Okay, so in that case, let me just color code it here. X is greater or equal to negative 1. All right, and then x is less than 0. So this is going to be open. And I'm going to be shade, 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 shade. Where do they overlap? Negative 1 to 0, open. So that's going to be our answer. Okay, so let's do a couple more examples. Okay, so let's take a look at something like this. The word in between is or now. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. Let's deal with the first inequality. So I'm going to add 2 on both sides. Then what do we get? 3 over 4x is greater than 6. All right, now how do I get rid of that 3 over 4? Multiply by its reciprocal, which is 4/3. All right, and here is our 4 over 3. Okay, so then this is going to become x is greater than, well, 3 goes into 3 once, into 6 twice. So here it looks like you're going to have 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay, now now let's work on the right hand side. So here I will distribute the 4 in first, or you can divide it by 4 off the bat if you like. Okay, so here, I don't know which way you saw it already, but let me just do it this way. Okay, so here you're going to have distribute 8 minus 4x is greater than 0. Okay, now subtract 8. Then here you're going to get negative 4x is greater than negative 8, dividing by negative. So there we go. Your inequality sign switches, so x is less than 2. Okay, so let's drop this out. And we have 2 and then 8 are the key points. Okay, so let's first go with x is strictly greater than 8. It's open, shade. And then x is strictly less than 2. So that will be this side. Since the word is or in between, you take all the possible shaded regions. So here you're going to get is negative infinity to 2, open, and then union, open 8 to positive infinity. And that's our answer. Okay, I promise this will be the last example that I'll do from this section. So what I would like for you to do is pause the video and try this on your own. But I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to pretend that you paused it and you tried it on your own. Okay, so first, this one, I'm going to subtract 2. Then you're going to get 3 over 4x is less than or equal to negative 3. How do I get rid of that 3 over 4? Multiply by its reciprocal, 4 over 3. And here, 4 over 3. Okay, then here you're going to have x is less than or equal to, right? We could cancel out the 3, so we're going to have negative 4. Okay, now on the right hand side, you could multiply by 3 off the bat, or if you didn't see that, you can just distribute the 1/3 to each term. So here you're going to have 1/3 x minus 6 over 3, that will be 2, is greater or equal to negative 2. Now add 2, add 2. Here you're going to have 1/3 x is going to be greater or equal to 0. So if I multiply here by the reciprocal of 1/3, which is 3, what we're going to get is x is greater or equal to 0 times 3 is 0. Okay, so let's jot this out. Negative 4, and here's our 0. And the word is or. Okay, so x is less than or equal to negative 4, so it's closed. Okay, and then x is greater or equal to 0. Okay, since the word is or, you take all the possible shaded regions. So you're going to have negative infinity to negative 4 closed, union closed 0 to positive infinity. So this is our answer. How you guys doing up to here? Hopefully you're getting it. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Good job, you guys.